You spent more on shit last month than you have on your checking account. Throw that in the garbage because that's what you're doing. This is the Target. This is the strip club. You're not sending to the strip club. You're sending this to the bank. This is the interest. This is shit. Are you done with this artificial life that you have right now that is going to bring you to ruins? My name is Romain, and for the past 10 years, I've been on a quest to tackle America's toughest personal finance situations. Leveraging my Ivy League master degree and personal experience, I've found solutions for what seems impossible. In 1 year, you can completely be in a different spot. Are we ready to take action?
Yes.
Will this be the one I cannot solve? Let's see what happens. Hello, let's look at your profile. You are 32 years old. You currently live in San Jose, California. You work in product marketing and also as an Uber driver, but there is so much more to you. Is that right?
That's right.
All right, awesome. Looking at the way you've rated your personal finances today from chilling to Mayday, you rated yourself as surviving. Now this is your perception. I have a different one. We'll be speaking on that. But Miralo, tell me a little bit about what's going on.
Well, I grew up in a super traditional Mexican household. My parents immigrated in the 70s. They were farm pickers. They picked all kinds of fruit. So literally having to nitpick at what we buy, what money is allowed to spend. So literally just having to live this American dream that they thought they were helping us succeed to get to. And that's where everything went wrong because they set these strict guidelines where being Mexican and having this household, we had to follow these strict rules to succeed based on what they thought was success to make it in America.
But what happened for you?
So those rules that they set were to set me up financially based on what they thought were going to help me succeed. Well, those rules were not for me. I've spent thousands of dollars trying to get to where I want to be through different programs, knowing that it was the wrong steps because I had the wrong information because of the rules that they've set.
And today?
That has cost me so much money to get to where I want to be because there's so much different programs out there that you think are for you. So you sign up for this because, hey, you want to dabble in this. I sign up for that. I want to dabble in that. And it turns out I'm just spending all this money to get where I want to be, and it's not taking me anywhere.
You guys were a big family of 8 children. You were one of the last ones, the 7.
Yes.
And in this position that was very almost, hierarchy where seniority prides, you kind of lost yourself in that. And so at 18 years old, you then engage into a relationship for 9 years that end up being very toxic for you. You kind of leave overnight after a succession of things that you see. And then you find a new partner. In a matter of 6 months, you get engaged. 6 months later, you get married. And that falls with thousands and thousands of dollars that at the time, yes, you were maybe able to afford it, but that left you with zero.
Left me with zero. Yes. So literally that 9-year relationship that I had, it almost was like my background coming to haunt me. My Mexican, Hispanic, literally cultural, that I had to stay there with this guy to make it work because that's what I was taught. Literally, you're told you find your partner and you make it work. And I wanted to provide and pay, and because also being in a Mexican household, you're taught as the man, you there's these rules that you need to do. As a man, you need to follow them. So
like what rules?
Being like the man, you need to pay for dinner. You need to provide. You need to provide for your woman. You need to provide for your family. So even being gay, I still took that and I got in a relationship and I felt like I was the man.
And so throughout that period of life, you came to a point where, all those experiences costed you a lot of money. And today, how do you feel about your finances?
I feel really stressed. I feel so stressed. Sometimes I'm like, is this the correct move? Should I pay this bill even though it's due, but I have to pay this bigger bill? Like it's something where every day I wake up thinking, oh my God, is this due? I don't have the automatic payment. Okay, yeah, let me move this money to this money. And it's just this constant struggle of fear of not making it the next day. This fear of of like not having enough, but at the same time being like, okay, I'm good. Okay, this month I'm good. But then, okay, what about next month? And it's just always feeling that like unsure, being, even embarrassed almost like on myself, thinking, oh my God, I'm 32 years old. Like, how embarrassing. Like, what do I have to my name? My car? Like, I'm glad you're here with me because I'm looking for a way out of this. And I know you have all the answers for me because you're amazing. And I'm hopefully can get out of the rut that I'm in, because every day I fear that I'm not going to be able to make it.
All right. As always, we are going to find a solution. This is why now we're transitioning to our next segment, which looks at your income and your assets. I don't know about you, but when I decide to build something, I want to do it right, especially when it comes to business. So when I decide to form an LLC, I want to be 100% positive that it's going to be done the right way. And this is why all of my businesses, including my YouTube channel, were formed using LLC Attorney. LLC Attorney is not just a company that will help you file your LLC. Yes, it's one of their services, but they just go one step further. They will help you make the best decisions with regards to where should you form your LLC when you think about asset protection or tax incentives. And they will also give you the chance to interact with small business consultant for free throughout the whole process, so you know exactly what's happening. This company, for me, has enabled me to feel fully confident that I am always compliant, my accounts are maintained the right way, I have the right paperwork, I have the right strategy in place, and just overall this whole environment is very consumer friendly. I've been very satisfied myself with their product, and just because you're watching this video right now, you can benefit from 100% off the formation fees. Thank you so much, LLC Attorney, for sponsoring this video. I really enjoy your product, and I hope that you guys at home will enjoy it too. So as an income, you work in product marketing, but you do kind of, from what I'm seeing here on your application, it's mostly like product demonstration, kind of, something product tester and so on. But on the side, you also work intensively with Uber, trying to fill those gaps with side jobs all over the place, kind of pulling everything that you can. That leads you to working 50, 60 hours a week for a salary, especially in California. That's not that easy. How much would you say you're making per year?
$45,000.
$45,000. So that brings to about $3,300 or so net per month. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So you provided me with all of your statements. And for the most part, it is pretty straightforward. You have a checking account with a balance of $851. You have another saving account with a balance of $25. And what else do you have?
And my car.
You have a car. Okay, that's right. I forgot about this. So what do you drive?
Hyundai Elantra.
What year?
It's 2018.
How many miles?
About 100,000.
Okay, so the value on the car, my friend, today is at $9,777. But I know that there is debt on that car. We'll see if what you're paying on this. Okay, I mean, at least you're buying a Hyundai product. Those generally tend to be quite reliable. What about retirement accounts?
None.
No?
I don't think so, no.
Anything like any other forms of assets? Anything? No? Nothing. Okay, so that brings your liquidity today, cash that you have in your pocket, Milano, at 876. Total assets, including your car, is at 10,653. Are you expecting any form of money in the long run, or anything maybe from a parent or anything?
Unfortunately, no.
So you're on your own?
I'm on my own.
All right. So something from your application that was very interesting to see is that although you have, $900 or so to your name, you recently went on a wedding.
That's right.
Yeah. Although I love the aspect, this cost you a lot of money, my friend. How much did you spend on this?
Yes, about 19,000.
19,000? What was the thought behind this? Why so much money?
He wanted something different coming from Colombia. He wanted something new and fresh. And me coming from something so toxic previously, I did want also just something totally new and different. So we said it was either Vegas or Hawaii. And Hawaii was the winner.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe priorities. I wish I could see $20,000 on your checking account rather than a $20,000 wedding. Ay, ay, ay.
Trust me, I tried, and he wanted the best ring.
Well, is he working?
Not currently. He's not allowed to work just yet.
I see. Okay, gosh. I mean, does he know about you guys' financial situation?
Not too much.
Why not?
Just because I wanted to be one, I like to be in control. And having to tell like these little white lies. So I don't want to scare him just yet, you know, and then it's gonna like just work out magically. And then I'm waiting for him to kind of like, he's going to class to learn English, and he's trying to still get his foot in America. Like the food, he doesn't understand. He's struggling with the food. He's struggling with the language. He's struggling with a lot of aspects. He's here by himself, no family, no friends, no one. So it's just kind of getting him to there.
Okay, I mean, I will always pride discussions of finances in a household, to be honest. I mean,
No, I agree.
Right now, my friend, we'll see in the next section, but you have quite a bit of debt and pages on expenses. So you guys are still bowling, but you're working like crazy too to afford this lifestyle.
Yeah.
My friend, sometimes the pride needs to be put a little bit on the side so that we can have a real discussion, because $19,000 with your financial situation right now is not the best that you could have done.
I agree.
Okay. All right. Let's see as we transition together into a next segment, your expenses and your debt. How much are you paying for you and your partner in San Jose, California?
$500
For both of you?
for both of us.
How are you pulling that
Yes.
off?
So actually, I live with my parents, and
I see.
I help out a lot. My dad, his medical, his doctor's appointments. I take him to all of that. So I kind of
help and kind of compensate with that. Okay. Okay, no, that's fair. So that brings your housing expenses to 15% of your income. We like it to be below 28. My friend, I mean, at $500, it's difficult to beat no matter what.
Yes.
In California, you're doing excellent. So let's look at your transportation expense, since this one is spicy. All right. So you have a Hyundai Elantra, my friend, that is worth $9,800 or so. But your loan, from looking at your statement, is $11,569 at an interest rate of
23.
yeah. My friend, you are spending a massive amount of money on this.
I even pay more than what I'm supposed to pay to try to.
Well, I mean, hold on. You have credit card debts that are more expensive than that. So I wish maybe you could have paid in a different way. But just to give you some perspective, you're paying $420 a month on this. Out of the 420, 220 is interest.
Bad.
Rough, huh?
Yeah.
It's rough. Think about it. 50% is literally going to the bank, not even the principal, on a depreciating asset. Now, what is nice to see is actually you leverage that because you drive Uber like crazy, about 5 to 6 hours a day. So I've accounted for all of that, including your gas and your insurance at around $100. This brings your transportation expense to 25% of your income. We like it to be below 18. Now, you're not paying a dime on housing, which is a saving grace, because if you were, my friend, we will be in a very different spot. So I will account for that because you're using it as a revenue generating asset. Still, we'll see how we think about this. I mean, your credit score right now, as far as I know, is not the greatest neither, 595. But that is driven by a bunch of accounts, collections, debt. Are you ready for both of us to go at it together?
Let's go.
Let's do this. We face it, and then we turn a page and we make it work. Ready?
Bring it on.
All right. We have 4 different credit cards, ranging from balance of $212, $423, $450, $1,435. A lot of those are pretty recent, 2024, except for one that was with a drawer, 423. What is that for?
That was for my ex.
The toxic guy?
My toxic relationship. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you haven't paid it, huh? You're kind of letting this rot you're letting this go. I mean, if this was the only one that you were going to let go, you've already let go 2 other collections. One for Verizon, 1,629. That was in 2024. How do you spend almost $2,000 on like mobile phones?
So that was a phone that I had got during also that relationship that I just stopped paying or stopped.
Are you still using the phone?
No, I don't have the phone at all.
So who has the phone?
I just I gave the phone away. It was just.
So the debt is on you, 1,620, and the phone is gone.
Right. So it was a phone for my ex or someone, but I don't know why that's still showing up for this year. That's weird.
Yeah, 2024. I have another one, Conserve Collection, 2,969.
I don't know what that one is.
You don't know where your debt is from?
I don't know.
So you're taking debt, but you have no idea what it's that about. Oh my gosh. All
That's
right.
how bad I am, man.
Yeah. Okay, you have two other form of loans, student loans, one for 2,991, one for 3,490. That was in 2024, so you can't tell me you don't know about those.
Yes, but they were for charges another year because I started going back to school first.
Did you get a diploma?
No. For college? No.
The priorities are not right.
That's
we
right.
can't have this, especially you have no savings, you have no retirement. At least you have health insurance. I could see that. That's nice. Thank you. My friend.
I know. Help me. What can I do?
What are we going to do? Gosh. Well, I mean, let me see if you're already taking the right steps, at least to help your case. Let's look at some of the statements. You like Target?
I do.
Oh my gosh, Target. $227 at Target? What do you buy there?
Bed sheets that my husband wanted that were like.
So hold on. Every expense is either your toxic ex or your husband. What about you? You're the one that makes the decisions here.
You're right.
You're not building wealth. You're trading your time for bed sheets and freaking midnight expense, round table.
Yeah.
Hermes Bakery Cafe. My brother goes to Hermes for a pancake. What the hell? What are you doing at Hermes?
So yummy.
Oh, come on, man. I mean, I see you're also going to the cinema a little bit.
Yes.
Travel booking, $200. What, you travel for fun or?
Probably for fun. Yeah, it was the honeymoon phase. So we.
Wait, hold on. When did you get married?
March 24th.
Okay, this was this last month.
So we're continuing the festivities. We're newlyweds for the whole year.
So have you spoken to your siblings and your parents about your financial situation? Do they know?
Not at all. No.
No?
This is something.
It's taboo?
It's taboo, especially coming from a Mexican household. Oh, you don't talk about your money, how much you make it. You show it. What's the house you have to show? What's the car you drive? What the clothes you're wearing? You know, it's more of an attitude, more of a confidence. The swag. Yes. So they see me looking nice. Okay, he's good. Everything's good. You know, he's making moves. So I'm good.
They're making moves in Hawaii, huh?
Exactly.
Which you're making moves on your checking account.
That's right. Same.
Okay. So you're still going out. Almost everything that you spend on this is food, Target, going out, or travel.
Yeah. And then since my husband is new to the US, so Disneyland, Universal Studios, I'm just trying to check mark all that stuff so I don't have to do it like later.
Yeah, but you're doing it when you're completely broke.
I know.
You're paying crazy interest on that shit. You have cards that are 30% interest, my friend. The Disney that's costing you $100 with everything that you're going through is going to cost you $250. You have to multiply by at least 2 because of all the interest in the backup payments that you're getting. You're not building any real foundation.
No.
I'm going to be straightforward with you. If you didn't have the rent of your parent, zero. You're making $3,300 for 2 people in California, one of the most expensive city on earth. And you're spending all your shit at Target and at least I'm not seeing Starbucks.
No.
Well.
Not a coffee drinker.
Luna Lounge, $250 in Las Vegas?
Oh, yes.
What are you doing? You're inviting everyone?
Sometimes I do. Yeah.
What did you do that night?
Yeah, that day we went, I think, to a strip club.
Oh, yeah. What are we going to do, my friend? We need to completely shift yourself out of this. I mean, as I look into some of the rest of your expense, you're racking on subscriptions, the Netflix of the world and so on, about $60 a month. You have a pet. I see that you don't have pet insurance. I didn't even want to ask the question. I could see it. As you guys know, we have a preferred partner on the channel, Lemonade, that I invite you to check out. If you have a pet, please do that. So you're living the life of a millionaire.
Trying to.
With $900 on your account. But my friend, the shit counter, Buffalo Wings, $60.
Mm-hmm.
Vacaciones, El Dream, $79. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you a question because I need to ask you this. Are you done with this artificial life that you have right now that is going to bring you to ruins? Right now, from what I'm seeing in your spending purchase, you've racked up, almost max out all of the credit options that you have. Your credit score is rough, so you're not going to have any more access to that. And you're paying very high debt on everything that you take. It's 30%, 23% on a car. Your student loans, at least at the government, you're not going to pay that for a while. But at some point, you're going to come to a tipping point where you're not going to be able to balance anymore. You're not going to have any rescue point. I'm giving you probably 6 months before you reach that point. Then it's survival mode. But you know what makes me even more worried about that is that right now you're cranking yourself doing this. You're already working 50, 60 hours a week, and you're not earning the fruit of your rewards because you're spending it on things that today bring you nothing. I mean, yes, they bring you the status a little bit and the style and provide a status to your partner, but in a way, you're sinking yourself in a hole. Mm-hmm. So are you ready to dive with me together and really take action on your situation?
I'm ready. I've been ready.
All right. Let's see how we bring this home together by moving together into our next segment, which looks at the money case. I'm going to tell you straight away about your financial situation because you're telling me Disney, you're telling me, all those fancy things and the travel and the Hawaii and so on. But today, my friend, when we look at your total assets, you have 10,653. Total debt, 25,100. So that brings your current net worth at 32 years old at minus 14,446. So we acknowledge that. You're minus 15K in the hole, but not only that. So I've summed the total amount of money that you're spending on shit last month. And let me tell you straight away, it's not $300. It is not $500. Last month, on absolutely crap, you spent $1,340. $1,340. Now, if this was just it, looking at your current debt of interest per month, you're spending $312. So, more or less, when we look at your financial situation, about half of the money that you make goes to shit. It's not necessary. It's the Target. It's all of the restaurants, the Nuna, the strip club, the whatever you want to give me about the fact that it's your boyfriend asking you. But at the end of the day, you're the one that is counting for to help you through that. Because as far as I know, your partner is not really working, is he?
Nope.
Okay, so what are you guys doing here? So what I'm going to do is going to ask you to hold this money. All right. Here.
Money.
Yeah, well, right now, you spent more on shit last month than you have on your banking account. Throw that in the garbage because that's what you're doing.
No.
This is the Target. This is the strip club. You're not sending to the strip club. You're sending this to the bank. This is the interest. This is shit.
Shit.
Are we done with this?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. So you ready to make efforts? Because what I'm about to tell you requires efforts and a drastic change. You have 6 months and then it's game over. Game over. A brief apartheid, guys, to let you know that I always keep myself up to date with some of the best products available in the world of finance. In fact, in the description below, I've included a list of resources that I use myself, from pet insurance to high yield saving accounts. So I invite you to check it out. And now, let's get back to our content. And I don't want you to file bankruptcy on, $15,000. I mean, think about it. You want to have a bankruptcy at 32 years old? Upon understanding your story, Mirello, I think that right now you're masking yourself, and please let me know if I'm overstepping, but you are overly compensating for the experience that you have in your youth, kind of being in the background, the servant and all of that. And in a way, you're counterbalancing this sentiment that you've lived for 2 decades by going almost over the top on everything that you spend on.
That's right.
Because you no longer want to be the shadow or the second or the followers. You want to be kind of the leader, the provider. Mm-hmm. But in doing this, you're overstepping yourself in a position that is too fragile to carry for those ambitions.
That's right. And I think also being the kid where it's like, oh, he doesn't need the extra help. He's good. He's intelligent. And almost like being that person where I don't need, like, my siblings see me doing well. He has a car. He has a job. Like, he's okay. You know what I mean? And I'm asking that by like.
You're almost putting a facade in a way.
Yes. Almost like a facade to let them know, like, you see, he did it. He's been good. Because I didn't fulfill that goal or that fantasy for them of going to college, because they all assume, even to this day, I still get my sister tell me, you're so intelligent. Why don't you go to start school again? Like, to this day, she still tells me. I have certain siblings.
But you are intelligent in your way, my friend. Education is not proven by the degrees that you get.
That's right.
Education is proven by the breadth of experience and the opportunity for you to adjust to your situation.
Right.
And in a way, you've been stuck into that mindset that has become your identity.
Right.
That is today punishing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think you would get much more fulfillment and reward in your life by just making it right. You don't have to have that facade. I don't want you to show neither that constant struggle that you have. But the fake it till you make it here can only run you for so long. We'll find a solution, but first, I'm going to tell you right away, looking today at your needs, today, to survive, my friend, you need $2,250. That is for food, communication, insurance, gas, your phone payment, everything. So you can live bare bone with still $600 on food at $2,000 or so. Thanks God to your parents. Because if you did not, I don't even want to think about it. But my friend, in a way, 32 years old living at your parents, that's not the success story that we want to have. Come on. You know what I mean? So what does that bring us? Well, that brings us into what I refer to as wants. This is money. It's going to be drastic. That I'm allowing mathematically for you and your partner to spend on things that is guilt-free. Okay? This is a little bit of maybe a date or a jewelry or a concert or whatever. I don't care. You have $200, not 13 freaking hundred, $200 a month to make it happen. And given your history with using cards and everything, I want you to put that money cash in your pocket, and that's money that you can spend. So when it's gone, it's gone. That with how much? This is the number that I want you to think of. Mathematically today, you can save $800 a month. Easy. What are you going to do now? Well, this is, as I mentioned, the goal number. But if this was just it. Number one, I need you to stop biasing yourself and have a conversation with your partner. I need you to do that. Because A lot of the spend here that I'm seeing, yes, is related to that glamour life that you're picturing yourself, that you don't have the means to.
Right.
So it is important, and in a way, it's going to test your relationship, because you're going to figure out, is the guy is actually here, truly because he wants to be with you and so on, or if he just thinks that the lifestyle is amazing for the ring, the $20,000 wedding, the Hawaii, the Disneyland, and all of that BS. Mm-hmm. Speak to him, show him exactly where you're at. So, number one, you're not going to be the only one facing that. And number two, your decision-making process is not going to be as a couple. You guys are married. It's not a boyfriend that is going to live in 6 months. This is going to be your lifelong partner. So you need to be fully transparent. And it's going to hurt your pride. I mean, I'm not going to lie, this is going to hurt your pride. Mm-hmm. But it's a short-term shot in the feet for you to now be able to run the race. Because what I'm concerned is you're running the race on your own. You're portraying a wannabe life that is not seeing. And you might dip. And then it's like, I'm gone. I mean, this sucks. This is not what I signed for. So if you're transparent with him beforehand, then now he's fully acknowledged and you guys can work as a team. You have to work as a team, okay? So stop with the BS expenses that we've discussed together, $200. You put $800 per month on the side, and this is what you're going to do. Number one, I need you to be cash heavy. I need you to have liquidity. You have $900 in front of you right now. Something arises, you're done. Your car breaks down, you're done. Your access to debt you've run out of options. Your credit score is shot. You're stacking up on collections and shit that you're not even paying, even including phones of $2,000 or so that you don't even know what that is. So we need to bring eyes to your financial situation, and we've had together. Now, I don't want to overpush on that front. You know what's happening. So we find a solution. You're going to start saving to the amount of $5,000 on your checking account, okay? You're actually going to open what is referred to as an emergency fund on a higher saving account. I like the preferred partner public.com. We have a link in the description. I will provide that.
Please.
And from that is going to give you a little bit of a base to breathe, okay? $5,000. You can breathe. Now, you're going to have to tackle your debt, starting from the most expensive one going down. You use tricks like what I refer to as the diamond days. You know what a diamond day is?
No.
It's a day that you book on your calendar, you put an emoji that is a diamond, and it's a day that you don't spend.
Okay.
You do that once or twice a week. Once for you, once for your partner. You guys each have a diamond day. That is going to allow you to be intentional with how you spend your money. Okay? We need to put a hard brake on this, implement small strategies like a cash jar when you get an impulse. Instead of putting it towards that purchase, you put it in a cash jar, and then it's a treat for you and your boyfriend on a date. But there is intention. We need to bring intention to play. Because what's going to happen is once you have that emergency fund, then you're going to start wanting to potentially contribute towards building wealth. How do you build wealth in these countries? It's through retirement, through the Roth IRA. It's through market investments that are going to give you 10% or so per year. You know what I mean? Everything that you're doing here right now is a pure trade of time to dollar. It's going to take you mathematically right now, from what we calculated, about a year to get back yourself on track. About a year. The wagon is passing. You have a last one that you can hold on to. Don't let this go. You have 6 months until you're bankrupt. So this should raise an alarm, but look at that trade. 6 months till bankruptcy, but you have 1 year till a completely new trajectory. So I have a question for you. In 1 month, I'm going to call you and I'm going to ask you this. Miralo, have you saved $800? And if not, why not? And you better not tell me that because you guys overspent or something that your boyfriend asked. What are you going to tell me?
That I've saved the money.
Are you going to speak with your partner and take your pride for a minute for a long-term outcome?
Yes.
Shake my hand. Yes. All right. I count on you. Don't disappoint, okay?
Never.
Thank you so much, guys, for following along through all this journey. We invite you guys to check out our other videos, like and subscribe as this helps the channel. Until then, I see you next time. À bientôt.
Hello, Miralo. How are you doing, mate?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited to speak with you. It's been a couple of months now. I know that last time we spoke, some of the objectives that we discussed together was for you to have a conversation with your partner. Did you speak with your partner?
I did. Yes.
How did it go?
I was able to articulate exactly what I needed to tell him, and yeah, he was on the same page. And it's funny because he almost like started the conversation himself, and I'm like, hey, oh my God, yeah, you see what I see.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's really good. So now I was going to ask you as well, when we last spoke, we were mentioning that $800 was the target for you per month to save. How have you been doing on that front?
I've been doing great. I have over $800 saved. And yeah, it feels good. I've been trying to put as much as I can every check, and then I've been, paying everything on time. And
no longer taking any additional debt for now, right?
No additional debt, just building my credit and making sure the debt goes down.
Nice. How do you feel in general, Miralo, since we've last spoken?
I feel great. I feel it was really relevant. It's super positive because it really got me rolling. And then ever since I saw you, I just really made it my mission to just work more in what I want to work in, but to make it attainable and achievable, and what's going to give me that financial success and freedom.